Peace. This is a meat and potato social production starring myself, the Water Alchemist, and today's topic for the occult family is personal responsibility and daimons. One of the things that never gets old is that people push this narrative about personal accountability and then they're vacant of it them very selves. So I want to get into this myth. Yes, I believe in personal accountability up until a point. The reason that I say this is that who poisons the air? Who has manipulated the food? Who's manipulated the water, which has mercury, arsenic, and fluoride? And which fluoride, you can read the fluoride deception. That does absolutely nothing about cavities. But they always push this thing about personal responsibility. And the contention that I have, and I hope it isn't reduced to a baseless one, is when people talk about personal responsibility in the religious community. And they are the ultimate hypocrites, or as they used to say in the Bible, Pharisees, because that's one of the definitions as well of a hypocrite is a Pharisee. And I go through this because historically I have seen this too many times with Jimmy Swaggart, with John Frey or Gray, excuse me, who Oprah Winfrey was shamelessly promoting. And then when he was philandering on his wife, it was Lucifer's fault that he had a side chick. So what does Lucifer have to do with you being a whore? Absolutely nothing. And here's the one thing that I also want to say. And Trogs, you better know this. Money does not change a person's character. It simply reveals it. Money does not change you. It just brings forth all the things, the idiosyncrasies that was already inside of you. Which leads to my other point. Recently on NSNBC on Joy Rhodes' show, Joy Reid, she had on Reverend Jim Wallace, who was a spiritual advisor to former President Barack Obama, and Charlotte Clymer, a transgender activist. And she never once, or you have to use pronouns now, my apologies. Never once did this individual put any of the onus for the shooting of those children and those employees on the shooter itself. The individual, Clymer, was saying, well, look at the transgender phobia and this is putting people, their backs up against the wall. Oh, really? Oh, okay. All right. I'm gonna play your game. So let's say I'm a person of color, right? Let's say I do a school shooting and I mortally wound children and employees. You know what some people are going to say? Wow, what do you expect? He's a black man. Look at his culture. It's savage, throwing rap, drugs, guns. That's a recipe for disaster. They will make me accountable, but they're not going to do that. And this is the thing that I always like to give pushback against. The good Reverend said that with all the explosions of gun shootings and all that, he equated that to Moloch. All these gun shootings, this is the new Moloch because they were sacrificing children back then. So the guns, that's like Moloch as it was in biblical times. Moloch didn't sacrifice no children. And people say, well, yes, he did. Oh, he did? Oh, okay. What's your source? That's what I thought, the Bible. Because if it wasn't Moloch, it was Lilith. And if it wasn't Lilith, it was Baal. History is written by winners that have an agenda. Do you know during the Jim Crow era that they said that African Americans were subhuman, so they had a high tolerance for pain? And you can read that in Medical Apartheid by Harriet A. Washington. It's like thinking that all Asians know martial arts. So basically, I don't know, you've seen too many Shaw Brother movies. Like Kid with the Golden Arm and Five Deadly Venoms and all that. Everyone must be accountable, and Moloch doesn't have anything to do with those shootings. And he's saying, well, we should sit and have practical solutions. Yeah, here's the practical solutions. You want all these guns out of here so you can make it just how it is in China, how it's going to be in Austria. Personal accountability is the excuse that people use only when it doesn't pertain to them. When it pertains to them, they cry, they moan, they complain. Daimons don't have anything to do with that. Now, do you have some mischievous lower level spirits here? Yes, but why are they like that? They're here because they're earthbound. Either they can't move on or they won't move on. So they act out in rage. See, even mischievous spirits have personal accountability too, but they're devoid of that. They're just lashing out. So personal accountability, yes, I am for it, but know this. Are you going to hold accountable the individuals that have marked out your life before you even got here? Something to think about. So with that, that is your meat and potato sorcery for the day. I am the Water Alchemist. Be water, my friends. Peace.